this game with a one-game advantage in the lower bracket finals against Thunder Predator.
Yeah.
He has performed incredibly well. I mean, this is fresh blood in the NA region, and he is crushing it.
hmm I mean, I think that a big part of who's going to succeed the most when a patch comes out comes down a little bit to dedication of the game and age. As awful as this sounds, I think. Well, it's hard to say because I don't know exactly what life at home is like. But Fear, he's got like a wife and a kid now, right? He's getting a little bit older. I'm not sure he's got the time to pour like 12 plus hours a day into Dota 2.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing is like life's a thing. When you get older, you're unable to commit as much to Dota as you'd like, but Sadboys are here to show that they've got the wisdom, they've got the experience. They're not kids anymore. There's a reason people have nicknamed them the four boomers of NA. But Sadboys, I mean, they're crushing it this tournament. I am so excited to see them, continue their run here, and we're gonna get a DNM Storm Spirit. Woo! I'm excited, man.
All right, this is gonna be good. I mean, the guy's done an incredible job on all the Spirit heroes. Storm, he's played a bit interesting. There's Electric Rave now, which I'm not crazy about, but it did wonders against Sammy Boy yesterday.
Yeah, it was really good.
5 seconds.
That all that magical damage going right through the armor on him. I don't think he'll go Electric Rave this game, but it allows you to, if you rush that Orchid, you can blow up Ember Spirit, you force him to get a Yules, it does wonders against a Wind Ranger. It's pretty good against Phoenix, so you can jump the back line as well. Storm Spirit makes a lot of sense. You're also a little bit lacking on these instant disables. The one thing that you do have going for you is the Roar. But I'm not sure they have enough damage to bring down the Storm Spirit inside a single Roar with how their lineup looks right now. They need a big damage carry coming out last year. And for some reason, Sadboys, they ban out Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you see the Shadow Fiend ban there? So I think what they might do is dodge the Ember Spirit, because it is a very favorable lane matchup for Storm, right? You pretty much crush the Ember Spirit in the mid lane. It is very difficult to play. You don't really ever have like a good, levels 1, 2, 3, and 4 all favor the Storm Spirit, and then as soon as you get level 6, Storm just can kill you. So it's one of those things where you usually want to try and dodge the lane if possible, but looking at their draft right now, we're likely seeing Sacred Beastmasters. We're going to be seeing probably a 5-position Phoenix. I don't think you can really flex this Ember elsewhere, but they go ahead, they ban out the Shadow Fiend anyway, and then they ban out the Anti-Mage.
Yeah, the anti-mage ban makes sense against the Storm, given the fact they need a hero that could do a lot of DPS, and he'd be able to bring down both the Wraith King and the Storm Spear with that.
10 seconds remain.
PL is still in the pool.
He is, but we saw yesterday Wraith King just dumpstered PL. I think, honestly, his new kit might be good enough for dealing with him. And one of the things that is an interesting interaction, if you're against Phantom Lancer, you definitely go the Shard because you need the mana burn. But here's what makes it really good. Those skeletons spawn on hero illusions when you reincarnate. So if there's 10 Phantom Lancer illusions when you go down, it spawns 30 skeletons on the reincarnation because you get 3 skeletons per hero near you.
Now, here's my question. Did the skeletons start attacking other heroes after
If the illusions die, they act like regular skeletons and they start attacking everything in the area.
Oh, the boys, though.
The boys. It was an interesting interaction I saw. I'm not sure if it's been patched out, but it's kind of funny. So the PL might be a bait here. We are looking for an offlaner on Sadboys. Now, they do ban the Tidehunter and the Underlord. I mean, it's going to be Moo, his Timbersaw's band as well. We're just going to see what they pick. Sandu King. I love this hero right now. I think this is a fantastic pick.
Yeah, the Sand King, he feels super strong in this patch. He felt like he was all right before. I'm still not convinced with how good his shard is. You raised a pretty good point when you say, all right, you have to move 700 distance. It's only 1 epicenter pulse. It doesn't feel that good. I think the slow in it is all right.
The slow is what makes it good, actually. From experimenting, it is the slow, because it is a full duration slow from an epicenter pulse, which is like 3 to 4 seconds. And you basically can't move unless you have BKB or like a movement ability, because it just keeps proccing and you can't move.
Okay, because you got the Caustic Finale, which is the slow,
Yeah.
and the Sand King can just walk 700 range in those 3 seconds as well.
Yeah.
So he can slow you again. So you're essentially not getting away from Sand King. It's a lot like the Orb of Corrosion with the Ghoul Frenzy on Lifestealer now.
Yeah. Well, we see a last pick Alchemist. For MNZ, I mean, here's the thing. Alk did get some pretty solid buffs this patch, despite being, you know, an Alk. A lot of people were like, oh, God, I don't want to ever see him in my game. But he did get a pretty decent patch, mostly for the support side of Alk. So one of the things that you can do now is if someone already has an Aghanim Scepter and you grant them the Aghanim's Blessing, it refunds them the entire cost of whatever they currently have, whether that be the Ag's Blessing or the regular Ag. So you basically just donate someone 4,200 gold for them to do whatever you want with. So it allows Alchemists to kind of actually use trickle-down economics. It's weird.
It gets tax returns, is what you're saying.
It's the first time we're seeing it happen. But whether or not he'll spread the wealth, we'll see. To me, this looks like a pretty rough Alchemist game because Wraith King, we've seen have a fantastic time, and he fares up really well against Alk, honestly. I mean, it's a good matchup for him. Typically, you want to get an early BKB and on the Alk and just kind of fight, but you have to go through 2 lives now on this Wraith King, which will be difficult.
Yeah, but this should be a lot better of a game number 2. I think that you still have a bit of a weakness with your support heroes. I'm not sure if 5 Phoenix and 4 Wind Ranger is the play, but I'm liking this better than the draft last time.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a much more well-balanced draft. We'll see if they decide to lane dodge. It looks like they are. Moo is going to go ahead and just try and go up against the off-lane Beastmasters. They're going to try and put Wraith King into the Alchemist lane, which, I mean, it's going to be a pretty big favored Wraith King lane, if I'm not mistaken. You have a lot of damage from these 2 supports. You have Ogre Magi and Mirana. Windy does not offer as much in that laning phase.
Yep. So a bit off topic here, but just came up with an amazing business idea as I struggled to wear.
Wrap around. Hold on. Hold that thought. They're going to see MNZ and Sacred. MNZ once again. No. The Alchemist. He's realizing he's trapped. He can't go anywhere. The Fire Spirit's still giving him some assistance. A Fire Blast on the mark. The Remnant doing what they can, but MNZ on the Alk. He died first on Fuzzy Wuzzy last game, and he goes down again, but they're taking a lot of damage from this Acid Spray. It did get a nice buff. They trade for Fear on the Wraith King. First Blood going on over to DNM's Storm Spirit. There's going to be a nice Fire Blast onto Sacred. Snake King doing what he can to get away, but the power shot, it comes through and it doesn't hit Snake King. There's a nice blast. Leo style trying to run away, but Fire Blast in 1. Can they do it? They're looking really strong here. DNM holding the high ground. Leo style taking some serious damage. The Fire Blast, it goes on to the Windrunner instead, and Moo. Jesus, a huge brawl here ends in a 2 for 2.
Yep, Fear is going to get both the bounty runes up here at the top, though. But my God, that was a hell of a dangerous play then. You know, I guess this proves once and for all, it is not good to trap yourself somewhere, even if you're hiding. They're going to end up finding you in MNZ. He's given up First Blood twice. Both times to the enemy mid lane. I mean, he's making Leo Styles' game so difficult.
Yeah, this is an amazing start once again for DNM in the mid lane. Now he is quite low on health. Leo style out of mana though, so he will get level 2 very quickly here on the Storm, and he's already got a bunch of regen coming out, the completed null tally and that salve to kind of top off his health. He needs to back off because Leo style, he can't. Yeah, I was like, he could Sleight of Fist cancel, but he has now moved off the lane.
Moo. He's I mean, it's a pretty good matchup here for the Sand King up against the Alchemist. He's forced to play pretty far forward inside the lane. You can just burrow straight Caustic Finale, a couple of creeps, and you just potential blow up and MNZ on this Alchemist, right?
Yeah. Do you remember when Caustic Finale worked on denies as well? It worked on allied creeps and on denied creeps, and so you just literally couldn't play the lane. But it does a lot more damage now, but the balance obviously was that you have to, the creep can't be denied, and it doesn't work on allied creeps, so, you know, a little bit more balance.
A period of time where Sand King was run mid against melee heroes for that reason.
Yep. One hero that I'm kind of curious to see is the new Bloodseeker. I don't think people realize how strong his new Thirst is. We may be seeing that hero come back to the mid lane in certain melee matchups just because of how good of sustain he has.
I think I'm not sure. I mean, the reason he was so strong before is because he had such a huge pure damage nuke, and you've lost 60 pure damage, which is pretty significant.
That is true. Oh, Alk, he's taking a lot of damage bottom lane, and there's going to be the burrow strike. He can go onto that range creep potentially. No, he's not opting to. Moo also getting harassed down pretty substantially from Phoenix. He has a dive. He's forced a TP. Yeah, Acid Spray and Fire Spirits is a ton of DPS in both magic and physical, so you can't really itemize, for it too well. Snaking has come to the bottom lane, though. They do see him thanks to the Fire Spirits, but MJZ has to be careful, as well as MNZ on the Alk. Like, the Sand King Mirana is a fantastic duo, right?
Just like the amazing setup with the burrow strike onto the arrow. I mean, burrow strike is such a lengthy, high damage stun. Feels very good.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, Snaking just baiting out the dive, constantly leaping forward onto him, right-clicking, waiting for him to try and back on out. And now your Alk is left in the lane alone against Sand King Mirana. She does have this earned 0 other items, which has been kind of the build recently.
It looks pretty good. Ooh. Audio issues. I've had a couple today. This is curious. Not the day to have them.
It's all right, Neph. We're doing great today.
Top lane here. Sacred. He's having a better start than he had last game. Before it was like 10 minutes in, or sorry, 5 minutes in. He only had like 10 CS. Now he's got the same at 3.5, and he's CSing pretty nicely underneath the tower.
Yeah, definitely the tri-lane ended much sooner, so the Beastmaster was given a little bit more space. We're still seeing Slayton up here on the Wind Ranger, trying to offer some assistance this time. Mid lane, they are TPing in Slayton. DMN, he really wants this rune, but with the Wind Ranger here, he's going to have to just give it up. Snaking does have an arrow throw, and it will be tanked by the Windy. Well played there by Slayton. A great TP to the mid lane, giving Leo Style that bottled Arcane Rune. It honestly cannot be understated how important the 4-minute power rune is, because it wins the mid lane.
Yeah.
In almost every matchup, it wins the mid lane.
Well, that's the reason why they got rid of the 0-minute rune and the 2-minute rune.
Yeah.
It's not as bad with the 4-minute rune, but still, that 50-50 makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, that's why we see in these high, level games, a support always rotates for the 4-minute rune. We haven't seen a game once this tournament where a support chose not to rotate for the 4-minute rune and just give it up, right? There's always a rotation. They're trying to make that rune go the way of their mid laner because, now we see, DNM, he's forced to jungle and wait for the 5-minute rune instead, and Slayton's here trying to snipe it, but it's not going to happen. He actually eats a lot of damage from that Remnant. Vortex is going to come in as well. PPD will be able to hit him with that Fire Blast, set up a third Remnant, and they get that kill. All right, well played by DNM, hiding that Spirit on the other side of the tree.
Yeah, there's a small kerfuffle elsewhere over at the Dire Triangle rune, where Leo Style ended up dropping very low and didn't get the rune for himself. Phoenix had to end up, it was Snaking who took it, and Phoenix had to dive out of the way and not die.
Yeah, you saw that one coming. Triple Remnants immediately, and he's getting a TP in from his Wind Ranger to refill that bottle. We'll likely see Mirana TP mid after this as well, just to refill the Storm's bottle, or just to contest the 6-minute runes. We'll see. Yep. Oh, it's going to be... oh, wait. Yeah, it's going to be PPD. They refill the bottle, and they're going to try and contest the 6-minute runes. Slayton already sitting at the top. They're going to go and hedge their bets on bottom. And it goes to DNM. Good players get good RNG. That's just how it works, sir.
How it works. Leo Style's not going to be happy about that one, but what can you do? It's been interesting to see the TP mid-meta come back. It was very popular in, 2014-15?
Yeah.
I remember back when I was playing my solo ranked, it was a common strategy. It's just everyone buy a bottle, everybody TP the lanes and fill things up for their mid laner. I'm glad bottle crowing doesn't exist anymore, though. That was miserable.
Yeah, even when it was the whole, you get 2 charges. Oh,
so good.
Was that just a blind arrow?
that wasn't a blind arrow. That was him knowing where Leo Style needed to walk back into and coming out of the trees the moment he tries to disengage from Storm.
Oh my gosh, Slayton's gonna go down too. Snaking double kill? And he's got the urn to heal himself back up. All right.
The man just don't miss.
Phoenix going down bottom. Moo's trying to chase him down, but oh, he's got a burrow strike in 5. MJZ still has dive, so he's feeling pretty comfortable about this.
This is why they call him the king, though, Ricky.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely earned his nickname, for sure. Or his just regular name, I'm not sure.
His first name is just King.
His first name is Snay, his last name King.
Yeah, my bad.
Oh, the burrow strike interrupts the Phoenix dive, and PPD hits him with that good old fire blast, gets himself a kill. Fairy's trinket for Elk. That's probably going on the Ember, if I had to guess.
Yep. Man, whenever I hear the Sand King like ultimate proc, I'm sure it's going to be interrupted by a mistake, or I'm like, oh no, it's a disaster. I have to remember that it's not how Epicenter works anymore.
You know, last game we saw DNM make some sick rotations on the puck. He comes top on the Storm. Might be a little bit out of position here. As Sacred, he does have mana for the Roar now. Will just commit it on the Ogre. And, well, are they even going to kill? Yeah, they're going to kill PPD here. They got the damage, I believe. Fire Blast. Do they break the Flame Guard? They cannot. Level 4. He ends up getting the kill on Sacred. A nice pick off from them. Bottom lane. He's going to get the Epi onto MNZ's Alec. You can't run away, sir. He pops him. Moo level 8 on this Sand King.
That was a lot of damage he just brought out there. I'm surprised that he managed to burn through the 50 HP regen a second on the Chemical Rage. Alchemist just heavily punished.
I mean, it's 110 damage per pulse, 6 total pulses, and they increased the AoE on it too, so that the center... well, it does more damage, right? It's like, it used to be 225, or what was it before? And then they increased it to 500.
Slowly it got bigger towards the more pulses. I think they increased it with the initial pulses, so you end up doing more from a little bit closer now. It did need to be buffed, though, because a lot of people, they weren't even getting Epicenter once they hit level 6.
It was like one of those things where if it was a lane, you could just like burrow strike kill the core, you would do it. But a lot of times, like you said, yeah, they would just skip it, go the extra points into burrow strike and Sandstorm.
Yeah, or even Caustic Finale, because you won a couple of points in those, and they help you farm faster. Like, it was great for team fights if you could get it off. Now it's just a solid ability because it can't be interrupted.
Sacred top lane, he might be in trouble. PPD is here. They're gonna have the arrow available as well. Fear can get in range for the fire blast. It connects. Slayton, this man, get down, Mr. President. Is he able to take the arrow? And now Sacred does have rage, but Moo is here. There's gonna be the burrow strike into the Sandstorm. Way too much damage this time. Fear still got this reincarnation. Another fire blast coming out onto the Phoenix. He does have the dive, able to get himself out of danger, but Slayton, he's been left out to dry.
Power shots through the trees, and he'll be able to build
I don't
himself.
know. Moo's looking for him. They're pinging him out. He's out. All
I don't
right.
think you can walk through these two. I think they're too close together. The shot ended up, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, you had to go north.
Here and then walk out like that, but he couldn't. Minus 90 gold, but he managed to live. Top tower will be taken by Sadboys, though, and they're looking pretty good again. Thunder Predator definitely doing a little bit better than they were last game.
Oh, absolutely. It's not nearly as much of a, you know, shutdown, but you do have this Alchemist, and you have a 2k gold lead on the side of Sadboys. Fear level 8 now on the Wraith King, 8.5 rather, and he's almost to his relic, about halfway. Good lane, they're looking for the Ember. The Vortex does not have the duration to set up that burrow strike, so Ember will just disengage. They smoke up immediately. They're going to find MJZ. I don't think that was the ideal target. PPD sitting behind, obviously, under the cover of the smoke. There's going to be the burrow strike into the Sandstorm. They can time it perfectly. Okay, they don't time it. It's all right. They're just going to back on out. He was pump faking the Fire Blast, waiting for the dive, right? So you can immediately cancel it, but the cast point on Fire Blast is pretty slow.
Yeah. But you're outside the certain range threshold, you are not casting it anymore. Or you lose vision. Alright. Hawk and Boar both come out here. Arrow. And Slayton's down.
It's just an easy setup, man. Sand King Marana. We know about this combination early on and how much damage it can do. And Fear's going to TP bottom. He's got the 3 points in the Vamp Spear, which gives him those, you know, what we like to refer to as the boys. And he's going to use those to try and push this bottom lane tower. Oh, they bait out the Ember Spirit. Potentially Snaking able to dodge out that Sleight of Fist. Now, they do have a Burrow Strike being wrapped around on Moo. There's going to be the Moonlight Shadow. Leo style, he's got to be careful. He can't go onto the high ground. Moo pinging him out. He knows, but it looks like they're going to turn over for Sacred instead. The arrow off the mark. DNM gets an Arcane Rune. They're just going to keep walking. He still has the Burrow, but there's no follow-up this time. There's going to be a roar onto Sand King. This guy incredibly tanky. Has that early Hood of Defiance and the Magic Wand. They're just zoning out them as they take bottom tower. Again, Fear using the boys.
Yeah, and MNZ, his farm's coming online too slow. This battle Fury is way too slow for about an Alchemist. I mean, he's only sitting on 7.3k net worth. It should be way higher than that, and it's at your team's expense too. You have,
they found him. They're going to be able to force his Alchemic Rage. But yeah, you're right. You can go ahead and continue that. It's a really, really good point.
Yeah, the guy is just way too slow, and it's at the expense of the rest of his team, right? I mean, Leo style, he's sitting 1,000 net worth behind the third highest hero, Fear here.
That's a nice pick off there.
I mean, it's all right. It gives you a little bit of gold, but even still, PPD, he doesn't really care if he goes down. He's playing the position 5 Ogre Magi. The guy's like a moving ward / bloodlust machine, right?
Exactly. Ooh, there's a lot of gold going the way of Snaking there. That's level 4 Starstorm. I didn't even realize. Normally, you don't see the Starstorm max on the support Mirana, but he wants to farm, it seems, and he's almost even with Sacred on the Beastmaster.
Yeah. Beastmaster, just as I was saying that he's having a better game than last time, and I mean he is, but
you know, that's a low bar to set. Unfortunately, last game was miserable for Sacred.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, DNM's got an Orchid. This was we saw what happened in a game earlier in this tournament when Gunnar got an early Orchid on the Storm Spirit in a good Storm Spirit game, right? And I feel like this is another one of those games. He's against, you know, several heroes that rely on spells for survivability. Bottom lane, they're pushing this tower. Moo is here, just trying to zone out Leo style. He's going to go on in. He has the Orchid. Ember, he gets caught vortexed in. Too much magic damage. Just going to pop again. Behind the tower is Sacred. He's got no TP for 5 seconds. Looks like he's going to drop a Hawk. He's going to be safe. He can TP out now whenever he feels like it, or just cut the next wave.
Yeah, this was something I was concerned about at the start. If they managed to get an early Orchid on the Storm Spirit, the game would be basically over for Thunder Predator, and that's exactly what the Storm got. I mean, Leo style, he's going for Blade Mail, so he wants to be able to fight into them and make space for his team, but we might be in another one of those too late situations where the Battle Fury came out too late on the Ursa, and so they're going to end up losing. The Blade Mail going to end up too late on Leo style here.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting really farmed on this Alchemist, right? You have the Yasha almost to that Black King bar, but they still have so much damage to deal with the Alchemist at the end of the day, right? You're not going to chew through 2 lives on the Wraith King on this hero, and that 10-second BKB can be kited out by the Storm Spirit and friends. Now, bottom lane, oh, they just go for the blind stun onto the ward, or onto the rune, rather, just thinking someone might be going for it, but another 3 bounty runes going the way of Sadboys, and when you're an Alchemist, it makes you pretty sad. You need these runes.
You really, I mean, they've got barely anything. This is a dire game. I mean, this is a very sad Alchemist. I mean, he's got 11k net worth, but his goal is definitely coming out way too slow. And as I kept talking about, like, it's at the expense of everybody else on your team. Leo style, he's been brought down twice, and you know, Beastmaster, he's not able to find any farm. Yes, they're dancing him around the map decently here, but they can't find anything for themselves. The wealth, I don't think, is going to end up trickling down this game.
Dude, it's hardly trickling at all, even for the people at the top on Thunder Predator, brother. Like, MNZ is struggling to find his own money. And he's got the money printing machine. Like, you know, money printing machine goes burr, but it feels like it got jammed this game. This pause obviously was brought to you by Monster Energy, our sponsor for the tournament. Now, Neph, what flavor are you drinking today? Is it just the Classico?
Classico. I actually had one before we started, as my morning began somewhat early.
I'm drinking myself the Zero Sunrise. Big fan of this flavor. All right, well, they know there's a sentry there snaking. He just gets immediately hit with a point blank fire spirit, and he's like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna deward you, sir.
Storm Spirit. Every time I hear one of those zips, I get a little bit nervous, and I should be right now, given the fact that Storm Spirit just got himself an arcane rune. Now is the time to be nervous.
Well, Alchemic Rage forced in the top lane.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Fear just pump faking that Wraithfire Blast to try and force something, but there's going to be the blink. The Burrow Strike onto the backside. They find the Phoenix. No save coming out anytime soon. And Moo, again, he's really tanky. I don't think you have the damage to take this man down, and he's got to roar. He has Burrow Strike up in a few seconds. He can hit a huge Burrow Strike, but the power shot finally takes him out, and now DNM looking for this Ember. Fear's got to be careful. He does have his Wraithfire Blast snaking. He's just stuck on the high ground. He does have an arrow, but they're holding down Wraith King. It's time to get on out. You made a terrible decision here. They're unable to take the fight, and now Thunder Predator is going to find some very necessary gold as snaking 0 leap charges, cliffs himself for the entire duration of the fight.
Yeah, he tried to TP out towards the end, but it ended up being canceled by that shackle shot coming out. I mean, I would have just left the guy there for as long as possible and killed him once he leaped down. Yeah, he's been doing some mean things to the heroes on Thunder Predator. I feel like that is well deserved.
Yeah, that was a really great fight from Thunder Predator. I mean, they've been struggling for a while. They've had the gold lead the entire time on Sadboys. We'll probably see it be taken over here on Thunder Predator in just a moment just because of the Alchemist. But they're unable to get that kill onto Leo Styles Ember, despite having the Arcane Rune there on Storm. Just a little bit of a sloppy fight. I mean, you really want this Sand King to get these epicenters off, and just did not happen.
Yeah, I mean, he's going for a Vanguard now. He might even go for a Crimson Guard up against this Alchemist. Up
The
against
Beastmaster, too.
Beastmaster, Ember Spirit, being able to prevent a lot of the damage from the Sleight of Fist. Moon not getting off the epicenter of the Burrow Strike, which would have hit many, many heroes, and the fight would have turned out different, I feel.
Ooh, there's a haste rune there, but Storm Spirit has to just bail as he's taking way too much magic damage. A nice roar, holding Moo down in place again. He can't afford to die twice, and he does. The rune fight going their way. DNM Storm is being hamstringed here, man. Like, he doesn't have a lot to work with. Sacred, very quick thanks to his haste rune, but they get the control. Snake King's going to trade his life here on the backside. MNZ trying to run away from Fear. He has this Radiance online, and a lot of damage coming out, but it's a 2-for-1. MNZ going to stun himself. Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower is in
There's 5 seconds off Wraith King Reincarnate now. I think they realized it was still on cooldown. That's why they wanted to jump on him, but this next team fight here, it's going to be done. Fear's going to get pretty scary, and his farm's going to start to catch up to Alchemist with this Radiance.
Yeah, he's got a Imp Claw coming out, which I'm not super sold on, honestly, because only one crit can apply at a time. So that Imp Claw will literally never crit. It's just damage.
Yeah.
It's a 7-second cooldown, whereas internal crit is 4-second cooldown. They act exactly the same, so it is just 24 damage. That extra critical strike will never work.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. In Dota, if you can proc 2 crits at the exact same time, but the higher crit will always override the lower crit if they both roll on the same attack.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the exact mechanics of it, which is the industry term.
The industry term is mechanics. Mid lane, they catch the Ember. They pull him into a nice arrow. Snaking just finishes him off. They are able to cancel the FB, but again, it doesn't go on cooldown, but MNZ just slaps that bad boy down. Fire Blast there to hold Alchemist at bay. He still has this Sanjin Yasha now with the BKB, and he is strong. He is a big boy. Wraith King, you may not have the damage to deal with him quite yet. It looks like they're eyeballing this Roshan, but they are sitting underneath a ward. Everyone here. MJZ, he walks in. He's just going to get popped. DNM with the exact same play from the beginning of the game, hiding that remnant on the other side of the tree, just baiting out a hero.
Thank you.
This guy with the mind games.
He plays Storm Spirit. That's what I can tell. He's had very good placement with those.
It's interesting him switching over from being a carry player to being a mid player and picking up Storm Spirit and playing it this well. Usually this is something that you specialize on, but DNM, he has done an amazing job.
Oh, does it not go on cooldown when you... If Imclaw doesn't go on cooldown off because of Mortal Strike, then it might be very good. You do have Reincarnation in the mid lane, and it is level 2. They're pump faking that epicenter, trying to bait this out. Wraith King's first life down. There's going to be the egg. Snake King just jumps right in. He's got to take it down, and they do, but can he keep Wraith King alive? He's falling super low, just getting destroyed by the BKB of the Alchemist. DNM on the side, stunned up by that concoction, and they get two. Moo, he finally pops his epi, but it doesn't do much of anything as the Alchemist just regenning through it. This is the Alch's timing. He's able to take down 4. A Leo-style triple kill as well. Thunder Predator turning it around.
Yeah, this basher Sanjin Yatra, he's just able to walk down your team, and just like he ended up initiating on the wrong targets the last game on Thunder Predator, that's exactly what Moo did here. That Burrow Strike Epicenter is going to do nothing to this Alchemist. He's seeing at 100 bonus HP a second, and that's amplified by the Sanjin Yatra as well. So, despite the fact that he ended up getting the Epicenter off, they all went down. 5k hero damage coming out from Alchemist, so they're going to start needing to work on solutions. They're going to need Eyes of Scotty. They're going to need to finish up the Spirit Vessel, which now Snake King working on, and they're going to need potential Shiva's Guard on Storm Spirit to even further reduce that regeneration.
Yeah, he is still going for the Bloodstone to give himself, you know, the active heal, that spell amp, as well as the snowballing effect of the item in general, but they have not been able to secure a kill on this Ember Spirit in quite a while. Like, Leo Styles bounced back. They do have, you know, the top 3 net worth behind the Alchemist, but Alchemist has now doubled everyone else in the game. He is at 20,000 net worth. MNZ, just the Munty printer machine, and has been unjammed. He's able to turn it around. Bottom lane, though, he's all by himself. You cannot afford to die. He gets the BKB up, turning around. He's able to stun them. Can they take down the Alk? He stands his ground. Unbelievable play from the Alk, and he is just going to run down Snake King. The Abyssal Blade delivered, and he gets 4. Unbelievable.
Oh my god, how much hero damage was that? For almost like 5,000 damage they did to him, but they just couldn't bring him down underneath that Alchemic Rage. They were so close. Just barely able to turn that. It would have been that would have been like the boost that they needed to get back into it and restore their grounding here. But now you lost your tower, your tier 3. It's going to be under siege. You do have Fortify that can stall you up for a moment, and it looks like they might get back because of that.
Yeah, that was worst case scenario. I don't know what else to say about that. They almost get the Alk. You know, it is so crucial that they find that kill. It is a lot of golden experience that would have gone their way, and instead turns into a 4 for 0. You know, I have a level 20 Alchemist with more gold than he did before.
Yeah, they just all like lined themselves up to be cleaved down to Alchemist as well because they couldn't finish him off. Quinn, 5 minutes ago. I mean, here I am 5 minutes in the future, Quinn, just saying time to throw. Couldn't be more right.
Oh, baby. I mean, I thought they would have had the damage for him. I'm not sure if they just didn't commit some spells that they could have done, but I mean, he's able to pop the BKB with that Alchemic Rage. The Sun Ray, you know, was essential to keeping him alive as well. You know, that max HP heal per second. You know, they just didn't have it. This is the problem with not getting the Spirit Vessel out earlier. I mean, yes, you can, you know, pop the Alchemic Rage and the BKB to purge it, but if you had that Spirit Vessel bonus damage earlier on, it might have worked.
Yeah. That's exactly what we were talking about, right? Like, you need your Shiva's Guard, you need your Scotty, you need a Spirit Vessel. The Alchemist HP regen is too much, especially with the Sunray behind him. Oh my god, I'm not sure where they're going to go from here on Sadboys. This is a serious problem. And Wraith King, you know, he was just finishing up his Blink Dagger after that fight that they lost, so that ended up getting stalled up. Now he's working the Assault Cross, so a bit more damage is going to come out from him after he gets this, but there's no difference in the damage output between now and where they were sitting like 8 minutes ago.
I mean, they're about to have an Assault Cuirass on the Alchemist, right? Like, that's the thing. It's not like it's just coming out. Oh, he gets the Blink off on Slade, and you'll only get yourself some Necro creeps. Not a good feeling there.
MNZ's
top lane. MNZ's by himself again. Storm Spirit could set up something for his team, but he definitely cannot do it alone. And it looks like the boys, they're going to walk into the Roche pit here. They do have vision, seeing all of them. And I guess they just know, you know, they don't have the damage to kill this Alchemist anymore. He is too dang strong. 2,800 health, almost 2,900 health, actually.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
He's going to get the D wards here on the Roche pit. Thanks to that Necro 3, and they're going to walk on into the pit.
Yeah, this is 168 HP regen a second he's got once he pops that Alchemic Rage. So once he's got this Assault Cross online, he's going to have too much armor for him to burn through.
Yeah, it looks like they are trying to dodge it out here now on Sadboys. They are a little bit afraid to fight into them, and honestly, I don't blame them. They've lost now several fights in a row. It was looking good for a while, and then these last two engagements have just been all Thunder Predator, and now you have an 11,000 gold lead where previously you were able to hold it against an Alchemist, which is the dream.
Yeah. I'm glad that Leo Styles has got a little bit of room to breathe here because of that. The game wasn't looking too good for him, and once the Orchid came online on Storm, you know, I thought his game was just done, but managed to find a couple of kills now, and they opt to start heading towards high ground. They do have Fortify available, so they can fight underneath the tower flag, which will do wonders for Thunder Predator here. Or sorry, wonders for Sadboys.
Yeah, well, they got to be careful, though. I mean, the tower, it's falling very quickly. Moo, not quite back, but there's the Abyssal Blade. Kind of baited for a moment, but this is an Aegis Alchemist, so he's not really the target you can kill. They do get the buyback on the Ogre. They take some decent damage onto Sacred, but he still has the Roar. Everything's still available for Thunder Predator. Looks like they're going to respect the damage on the high ground here and back off. I guess Alchemic Rage is expiring. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, you don't want to fight outside of that. You are Alchemist, you know, despite the fact that he is so strong, he's only got 2,700 HP. You can't burn through that fairly easily. It's just you don't have a lot of burst. All your burst comes from this Wraith King, who actually is going for this Aghanim Scepter build. I was talking about this one to you, Ricky. This one is actually pretty cool. The extra 25% movement speed and 70 attack speed.
It's the counter, dude. When you're all dying, just get the Spirit Boys out. A nice gank there does find DNM, and you know he's had a near flawless tournament, but he is struggling so hard right now, and you know, just not very characteristic of his play this tournament. Alchemist top lane, no cares in the world, just gonna beat down this barracks. Sandstorm does not do enough damage. He's gonna get himself the first barracks of the game. MNZ, he is unstoppable on this Alchemist.
Yeah, he ends up popping that unstable concoction on himself, but it doesn't matter. They're still just way too afraid to commit onto him, so end up giving up.
Gets found mid. Slayton doesn't have the damage solo, I don't think. Yeah, Yules, he's just going to go for the TP. But guess what? Leo Styles here offers an assist.
Doesn't even pop that DD. Manages to snag him up with those Searing Chains. He'll go back to base because he needs a little bit more mana, and he'll shove out the bottom lane just a little bit, then he'll come back, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. Mid lane tower now under siege. The creeps have made it. I mean, he did an attempt to try and cut the wave, but it doesn't matter. And you're about to lose potentially a second lane of barracks. This Aegis still good for 2 more minutes. Fear gonna go ahead. They're just gonna try and jump the Alk and get his first life, but the Sunray heal, it's quite a bit. The Roar onto the Sand King. He's falling very low, able to pop that wand and the barrier. He's able to walk away, but the Abyssal Blade comes in from Alk. The Alchemic Rage, the BKB, he's incredibly tanky. They had the Ags this fight. Fear, I mean, you gotta be careful, I guess. His first life on the Sand King will go down. He does have buyback. You've now forced everything out of the Alk.
They might just get back after this one. I mean, they didn't get enough after popping that BKB, Chemical Rage, and Abyssal Blade, so they'll take the Sand King, and they'll disengage. I mean, might as well wait for whatever it is your next couple of items are. They're working on Pipe on Beastmaster's Courier, dead for another 44 seconds.
Did he sell something for this Ags? I didn't feel like he was gonna. I didn't think he had the money for it when we last looked at him. He was like almost 2,000 away.
No, he's 1,000 away.
Was he? Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense. Yeah, Aghanim Scepter. I mean, it's an interesting play now. I mean, it definitely got a massive buff from where it used to be. It was something that like no one ever picked up on this hero, other than like, you know, 7th item type of scenario as a blessing, or hopefully from Roshan. Spider Legs drop. That's going to be a fantastic item for the Wind Ranger. She loves this. They also get Orb of Destruction for the Alchemist, so even further amplifying the armor reduction. Mid lane, they might have caught him. A nice arrow tank there. The Roar comes out. Can Alchemist get brought down in time? He gets the BKB, the Alchemic Rage. There's the Abyssal. Sand King goes down, but the Spirits isn't going to matter. You've lost Storm. You've lost everybody. Oh my god, it's a disaster. They cannot kill this Alk. First life of the Wraith King. And his second, no buybacks available. You know, they try to take the fight here onto the Alk, but he is just too damn strong.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that they're able to do now on Sadboys. You know, you need to complete that Aghanim Scepter a little bit earlier. You just couldn't burn through this guy's regen. Once he got that Alchemic Rage off, you know, he became invincible. Not enough burst damage.
All right. I mean, they might have it this time. The Epicenter, no BKB. He finally gets popped. Moo finding something for his team there, but now we have no heroes alive.
Clayton, does he have Focus Fire? He does not.
It is going to be the slowest tower push here in the bottom lane. A Phoenix and a Wind Ranger. Oh, man. I mean, this one you have to go. They have to just back. There's no way that they can do this. They'll whittle down some buildings here. You know, Ogre going to be respawning soon. Just trying to push these lanes out for the super creeps to come on in. The Phoenix already backing for the runes, though. So, again, more damage done here. Up to 23,000 gold.
Yeah, they did manage to pop those heroes there, though. Alchemist, when he blows up, he's like a gold pinata. So, it closes the net worth lead just a little bit, but there was such a costly defense there and only one set of racks left. You do have potential to defend from Mega Creeps here with Wraith King. I mean, you're never really going to be out of the game, but it's just going to get harder and harder. That Rax is indefinitely exposed because you've lost your tier 2 as well. Cutting those creep waves is not going to do nearly as much or be nearly as effective as it otherwise would.
So Fear actually picked up the +6 skeleton spawn, so you can hold up to 14 charges now. Now, in the past, the way it worked is each charge was just worth 2 more skeletons. So now you actually have to farm additional stacks, whereas, you know, as compared to how it used to be. I think. Maybe I'm wrong, though, and that is just a bug tooltip.
Interesting. We'll have to see.
It's a lot of skeletons. The boys are out for blood.
Yeah.
One thing that's interesting, though, is you don't typically take this talent against an alchemist. Each of these skeletons is like 30 gold times 2. He sees the skeletons. You like usually boots of travel to that lane immediately, and you're like, ah, yes, 1,000 gold. Thank you.
Yeah, don't mind if I do. He's MNZ. Speaking of MNZ, has he started handing out Aghanim Scepters yet? Not yet. I mean, he's been dead for a pretty long time.
He wants items. He's going full carry items before then. Oh, yeah, 27 gold, 27 gold, 27 gold, 20. Oh, my Lord. It was so much money. He actually might get caught here. The Epicenter into the burrow. If they can initiate the stun, can they finally take down the Alchemist? It's time to roar. No, he stands his ground again. He turns around with the Satanic. They just cannot take down this Alch once again. The GG just gets called. They throw everything at him. And MJZ every goddamn time perfectly positioned with the Sunray, making sure this Alch does not go down.
The heroes on Thunder Predator, they're just too strong. I mean, all the damage came out from Alchemist there, right? And if you can't kill him that initial burst, he's going to heal up. I mean, they threw absolutely everything at him. I think just the Sanjayasha by itself gave him enough stats resistance to survive that roar and get off the BKB. Maybe if the Orchid came out slightly sooner, like at the exact same time as the roar, the Soul Burn burst would have finished him off, but he managed to BKB through that one. That is all they need to do, but it ended up being too hard for them on Sadboys. And I got to say, it could have been a different game if you end up getting to waste that BKB and you have that HP regen reduction. You have a little bit more burst, but Fear by himself with his Radiance build, it matches up pretty poorly to the Alchemist.
Yeah, I think like you were talking earlier, like the Armlet Deso build, you know, is better at fighting earlier than this Radiance. And the Radiance, you know, it gave him a lot of farming speed and potential, but you just cannot keep up with this Alchemist. And a couple good fights there at MNZ. Holy crap. I mean, I can't, like, we were tense. I can't imagine what he was like. He must have just been clenched so tight during that engagement bottom lane. But they turn it around, man. They're doing incredible. Thunder Predator, they are down, but they are now not out as they tie the series 1-1. Thank you for putting your hat back on there, Neph. The viewers definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, about that. Very important to the show.
Yeah. Incredible performance by Thunder Predator. It honestly cannot be understated. They are ready to go to game number 3, and this is exactly what we wanted to see on the final days of the Americas bracket. So Stay tuned, everyone. It's been a heck of a series so far, but we got one game. The winner will advance to the grand finals to play 4 Zoomers. We'll see you after just a short break.